Happy Tuesday, guys. Welcome to my GPP video for slurve.com. As usual, I will guide you through all the good pitching and stacks for today's big slate, 14 games. Just want to say congrats to one of our own slurve experts, Adam, for taking down a seat in the DraftKings Baseball Live final yesterday. Yeah, attaboy. Let's move on to the pitching. So I want to group guys together today and kind of talk to them about in the price ranges that they are in. So the first guy I want to talk about, guys, I should say, Sale and Strasburg together. So the 13K guys are probably not going to pay off their salary today. Sale has K percentage is down. He's pitching to contact. He was striking out 32% of the batters last year. This year it's only 24%. It's a huge move. He is going deeper into games, which has led to a few complete games, but that is not something we can predict and bank on the complete game bonus at DraftKings, that is. So that is not something I would take into account when projecting his upside. I'm not going to play Sale today, so that is just somewhere where I'm going to leave this. Strasburg, on the other hand, I think is going to be a little bit more contrarian, so I do have a little bit of an interest in him. Mets have the second best ISO against right-handed pitchers, but they also strike out at a 23% rate. Strasburg is fifth best in strikeouts in the majors, has a very nice K percentage, so I do like him, his upside for strikeouts today. However, he still carries a ton of risk at 13,000, which is not something I want in a pitcher I'm paying up for. So if I do have a little bit of him, I'm going to let you know in the chat. Right now, I don't know. So the next tier of guys is Samardzija, Verlander, and Tillman. This should probably be a spot where everybody targets Samardzija due to the fact that people love picking on the Padres, and for good reason. He went 8 Ks in 8 innings, I think in the same matchup last week. So this was 35 points in decay, and I would project that to be his upside today, his ceiling, I should say. So to me, that is very close to Sale and Strasburg, who are 2K more. So I think Samardzija is a nice play today. I just expect his ownership to be elevated due to the fact that we don't have a Kershaw to pay up for, and the arms around him carry some risk. So the arms around him are Verlander and Tillman. Verlander is striking out 25% of the batters this year. It's his best mark since 2011, which is 5 years, long time. It's also supported by 11.3% swinging strike rate, so it doesn't seem like a fluke. I think he will carry the least ownership of the top 4 guys that I've mentioned so far. So I do expect his ceiling to be just as high as those guys. So based on game theory play, I think he makes a lot of sense. Let's see. I just want to mention he's playing the Phillies, who have the 4th worst ISO against right-handed pitching in the league. So he also has a pretty nice floor in this matchup. The next guy is Tillman. I really don't think there's any chance anybody's paying for Tillman at the price that he is at in the 11K range. His recent performance suggests that his 25% strikeout rate will continue, especially against an Astros team that is striking out at a 25% clip against right-handers themselves. Of course, they also have a ton of power and up and down their lineup. They're in a great hitter's ballpark. So this is a much riskier play than the guys that I've mentioned so far, especially on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I actually kind of like Tillman. He's only 8,600 and will surely be overlooked. So I don't mind him over there at all. So let's talk about the guy that everybody's going to be on today. David Price is usually priced up in the 12K, 11K range. Today, due to DraftKings' amazing dynamic pricing, he's at 8,900. That's very, very cheap for him, if you guys haven't noticed. He's facing Colorado, who's pretty good against lefties. Of course, they're on the road, although the road being Fenway Park, I don't know how much of a difference that makes from Coors. I don't think it's that big a difference, especially for the right-handed bats targeting the Green Monster. out there. Um, anyway, talking about price, game theory suggests that we fade him if he is like 50 or 60% owned, which is what it seems like he will be. So basically, you can either go one of two ways, like I just said. You can fade him or you can go all in. So you over you pass the field in ownership, or you fade him and have 0% ownership. So to me, those are the two ways you can go. Like, you guys will have to decide for yourselves, but just for me right now, I think on DraftKings I will probably fade. Yes, I think so. I don't know. I'm going to decide in the chat an hour before lock. So be in the chat, and I'm sure we're all going to have a nice discussion about it. Also, I want to mention that I'm going to talk about the Rocky stack later. Whenever a pitcher is that highly owned in a ballpark like Fenway, against a decent hitting team in the Rockies, I think it makes sense to stack against him at very low ownership, so you can pass, 50, 60% of the people if he does happen to blow up, which he has in the past. Like, that's not out of the question. Anyhow, when I'm kind of going down the list of pitchers by price here, and I totally skipped over Tehran, who is actually in an ideal spot pitching against a righty-heavy Brewers team at home. He is better at home, and he's better against righties. And both of those things are in line today. They're both check marks. So Brewers strike out at a 7% clip versus right-handers, and Tehran's strikeout rate against righties at home is 23%. Both of those numbers are very good. This is a great spot, but again, DraftKings has priced him up to the 9K range. I would like to see what kind of ownership he's going to have today. I'm going to judge based on whether he's being touted around the industry, but I do think this play has a nice high floor and somewhat of a ceiling here. So that is not something we usually see with Tehran. Next thing I want to talk about is my favorite guy on the slate, and whenever I say that, it tends to go against me. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it's just a small sample size of me saying these guys are my favorite guys. So we're gonna try to dodge the hands of fate once again. Carnes is the guy I want to talk about. I absolutely love his stuff. He has a great K percentage at 25%. He's a fly ball pitcher in a ballpark that suppresses home runs. So all those things are good. I see a very high floor for Carnes today, but the ceiling is a little bit lower than usual due to the fact that Oakland just doesn't strike out at a high clip at all. They also don't hit the ball hard, which is nice, but due to their strikeout rates being lowered, we cannot project as high a ceiling for Carnes here, although I still do like him. Last but not least, Adam told me that I have to go and talk about this 4K guy, Daniel Wright, going up against the Dodgers. From his stats in the minors, he looks to be an average pitcher to me. Last time he pitched a full season was 150 innings in Double A. That was last year. This year he was promoted to Triple A. Last year in Double A, I think he had something like 130 strikeouts and 40 walks. Again, average. Dodgers don't scare me though. They're pretty average in all of themselves. So if you need to go down this low, I think you can. I don't know if you're going to need to today. So again, judge that for yourselves. Okay, let's move on to the stacks. First stack is Pittsburgh. They're probably going to be really popular against Shelby Miller, who has just been getting destroyed all over the place so far this year. He's worst against lefties, so Jaso and Polanco come to mind. I already saw their lineup, and Joyce isn't starting, unfortunately. I would have loved to have played him at his price. But you can stack up Pittsburgh here. Just remember, you're probably going to have to differentiate elsewhere. I do expect them to be in the 15% range today. Nationals are another stack I want to talk about. Harvey's just not very good right now. His velocity's down. He looks lost as far as pitching. I watched the last game, and although the Nationals scored a bunch of runs, it's not like he was that bad. His defense really let him down with botched ground ball double play and a ball in the outfield that really should have been caught by Conforto. But because Harvey still carries that name value, I do believe that Nationals will be under-owned today, and they do have a nice upside against against Harvey today. Another stack I want to talk about real quick are the Yankees against the knuckleballer and R.A. Dickey. Yankees do not have standard numbers against knuckleball except for Ackley, who is actually a really nice one-off today due to the fact that he's a lefty in Yankee Stadium, short porch, and facing a knuckleball that he hits really well. I do also think that they make for a nice stack. As always, Yankees at Yankee Stadium have nice upside. I do expect the Cubs to be under-owned today, which is why I like it. I don't like to target the Cubs when they're highly owned, as they're a little bit bipolar and can just totally disappear against a pitcher you wouldn't expect them to disappear against. Waka can give up runs in a hurry, as you all saw in his last start against the Rockies. So if the Cubs are going to be overlooked, I think I'm going to be on them today. Just a note, I know Steve in chat today mentioned that Rizzo has really good BVP numbers against Waka. So if that is something you look for, go right ahead. So let's talk about the game at Fenway Park today. We have Colorado and Boston. Boston is going to be mega popular. It's a 14-game slate, and I really see them being somewhere in the 25% range for the hitters on their team that are going to be popular. I don't know. I mean, I think they have great upside for sure, which is why they're going to be so popular. De La Rosa is not a good pitcher, and Boston's just destroying everyone right now. So, guys like Betts, if he's going to be like 35% owned, I think I'm going to fade the top of the order here and go with the less owned guys. Like Rutledge should be in the lineup for sure. I like him. And Chris Young is actually the highest, carries the highest value in my model today. So I really like him. He's been crushing the ball lately. So all his advanced metrics are up, such as hard hit percentage, velocity. So Chris Young is my favorite outfielder of the day. I do expect him to be highly owned though. So there's that. Anyhow, Colorado on the other hand, like I said, they have a nice right-handed hitting lineup going off against Price here. I do think there's a chance that they explode for a bunch of runs. So I think they make sense as a low ownership stack with high upside. Couple more for you. Detroit's been on fire. They are the ones that won Adam the seat yesterday. And again, until Miggy cools off, you just have to roster him. The guy is absolutely crushing the ball right now. Hellickson's not that good a pitcher. So go ahead and target Detroit today. I have nothing against that. They will be highly owned though. Texas is a stack that I think will be under-owned today, and they're projected for 4.9 runs in Park, where it's going to be pretty hot, and the ball really travels well there when it's hot. Adore, Moreland, Fielder, Mazzara are all in play today against Chacin, who does not do well against lefties. Couple more. Baltimore is probably my favorite stack of the day here. They were off yesterday. I think they have great upset against Fister in Houston. I like Chris Davis. I like Machado, all the usual suspects. Adam Jones is still crushing the ball. So I really like a Baltimore stack here today. I know we talked about Wieters in chat today. I don't know if his dong luck has run out, as Steve would put it, but he's all his advanced metrics are up lately, so he is hitting the ball hard. Two more from the West Coast I want to mention really quick. Seattle against Graveman. Gives up a lot of home runs, a lot of hard hit balls against lefties, and Seattle has a ton of lefty bats. If Martinez is at the top of the order again, I really like him. Cano, Seager, Smith, all these guys. San Fran, I also think, is going to be very low owned and has nice upside for the lefty bats in Betts, Crawford, and Span today. Okay, kind of forgot about Span there for a second. Anyhow, again, this is running long. There's 14-game slate, tons of plays, tons of pitching options, great GPP slate. So, zero in on those guys that you like and build a bunch of iterations of those lineups and hopefully you will make all the monies today. Good luck, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.